The fastest car in F1 always wins. After all, isn't F1 just about going full throttle? And of course, the team with the biggest budget automatically carries the day, right? Well, these are just a few myths that fly around concerning Formula 1. These myths range from innocent lack of knowledge to sheer conspiracy theories that are fueled by wild speculation and a good dose of imagination. In today's video, I'll debunk some of these myths and reveal the whole truth that not many people know. Stick around and by the end, you'll see Formula 1 in a whole new light. Number 1. Drivers are part of the design team. You might be forgiven for believing that Formula 1 drivers form part of the design team of the car. Well, the fact is that drivers are not actually part of the design team. This myth was actually debunked by Mercedes driver George Russell, who explained that instead of being part of the design team, the role of the driver is more centered on providing feedback from the track. Does the car feel a bit rigid in a certain part of the corner? Is there a need for a bit more downforce on the front axle in that part of the corner? This kind of feedback that the designers capitalize on to fine-tune the car's systems and get it to perform exceptionally. The expertise of the driver lies in pure performance on the track, where they can push the limits of whatever their engineers create, not sitting behind a computer screen and analyzing the aerodynamics of front wings or tweaking suspension settings. Number 2. F1 is all about speed. It's no doubt that F1 cars can go from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. It's also a no-brainer that drivers can easily hit hair-raising speeds that make the rest of us look like we're driving bumper cars. It's these observations that have led many to believe, wrongly of course, that F1 is all about speed. But the thing is, there's more to it than meets the eye, and speed alone cannot cut it in the championship. For starters, F1 is more about a blend of aerodynamics and speed. You can see this in the way that F1 teams inject millions into shaping every panel and wing in a way that helps to reduce drag and maximize downforce to grip the track tightly. Another way to debunk this myth is by looking at the tyres that these cars use. You see, teams don't just throw on a set of tyres and hope that that carries them to a win. Instead, they go as deep as using different types of rubber designed for specific track conditions. This is where they must decide to strike a balance between the soft tyres, which have the downside of wearing out way faster, or the hard tyres that offer more durability but with a grip trade-off. Also, don't forget that these cars come fitted with a host of sensors that help the teams gather critical information, ranging from engine temperature, fuel levels, tyre wear, and air pressure, and many others. It's this kind of data that helps the crew to come up with winning strategies and transmit them to drivers who then put everything into practice. Clearly, F1 is not all about speed. It's more a combination of factors that, when put together, propel a team to the podium. Number 3. F1 cars are unsafe. This is yet another myth that's led many people unfamiliar with F1 to label the sport as unsafe. This could be true to an extent if time was rewound to the 1950s when helmets were optional and fireproof suits were not required. This was a time when the only safety measure was don't crash. Fast forward to the modern sport where there's a relentless effort to promote safety and where every incident provides an opportunity for the development of more safety measures. To begin with, modern F1 cars are made of a material known as a monocoque, which is primarily a one-piece structure designed to be both lightweight and strong, thus enhancing the driver protection measures in case of a crash. To add on to that, the driver's helmet is more than just a simple piece of headgear. Instead, it's a product of extensive research and advancements that blend the materials such as Kevlar, Nomex, and carbon fiber. This makes the helmet super safe, able to withstand fire, intense impact, and extreme temperatures. And it doesn't stop there. Every F1 car is fitted with the Halo device. At its core, the Halo is a tri-pronged tubular titanium structure that surrounds the car's cockpit and is designed to improve driver protection. Think of it like a roll cage around the driver's head that protects them from flying debris in case of a crash. In fact, the Halos come in handy more than a few times, but perhaps one moment that's forever fresh in the minds of fans is the one involving Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix when the Halo practically saved Hamilton's life. Some fans call it ugly, but there's nothing ugly about a driver walking out of a life-threatening crash unscathed. There's also an unsung hero that helps to demystify the myth that this sport is like flirting with death, and that is the safety car. This car is deployed whenever there's an immediate emergency but the conditions do not mandate the race to be interrupted. Its main aim is to slow down the cars on the track until the situation is addressed. Number 4. The team with the most money always wins. It's not really up for debate that, indeed, Formula 1 is really expensive. Picture this, the price of such a small component of the car as a steering wheel costs between $50,000 and $100,000, and if that's not enough, each set of tyres costs about $2,700. That means for a Grand Prix weekend where each team requires at least 13 sets of tyres per driver, the total cost will be a whopping $35,000. Now, factor in other costs like development, engineering, testing, logistics, and keeping your crew fed. For the big boys like Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, well, their budgets have proven to be game changers. Nonetheless, these budgets are not a magic wand. It's been proven time and time again when teams such as Red Bull won the championship repeatedly despite having a smaller budget compared to the likes of Mercedes. As a matter of fact, Red Bull has gone further to prove that it's not all about money. This is a team that doesn't even manufacture cars like Ferrari or Mercedes. However, it's mastered the art of using data analysis and youth development to its total advantage. Their academy churned out top talents like Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel, giving it a significant edge in talent without the need to splurge extra billions in poaching pro drivers from other teams. Also, look at a team like Haas, that doesn't have the luxury of resources like Mercedes, but they continuously punch above their weight with brilliant strategies and partnerships, especially by purchasing parts from larger teams and sharing facilities with Ferrari. Or take Williams, which, even with smaller budgets than other big teams, has managed a total of 9 Constructors' Championships thanks to creating a technical edge through innovative engineering rather than bottomless bank accounts. Now, how about a small pause? I promise this won't take long. How about we make a deal where you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, and I'll post more frequently about everything to do with Formula 1. Deal? Thanks. Now let's get back to the video and explain some more myths about F1. Number 5. All circuits are the same. It wouldn't be surprising to think that all F1 circuits are basically the same, just a big loop with a start and a finish and loads of left and right turns. Well, as it turns out, that's yet another myth that I'm about to dismantle. The reality is that every F1 track has its own personality. To show what that means, let's look at 2 examples, one of them being Monza, popularly known as the Temple of Speed. This track has a total of 111 turns and also boasts a rapid and flowing design that gives drivers ample room to push their cars to the limit. It's no surprise for a driver to reach breakneck speeds of up to 370 km per hour. On the contrary, the Hungaroring is often equated to an oversized go-kart track because of its endless twists and turns. Overtaking here is a big struggle, and drivers need precision to navigate its tight corners. What works at Monza would be catastrophic here. One is pure speed, and the other is finesse. And then there are street circuits like Monaco and Singapore that are a whole different ballgame. Imagine racing an F1 car at 200 miles an hour through the city streets, where there's no grass or gravel runoffs to save the driver, where a single mistake could mean a damaged car or a yellow flag holding everyone else back. There's a wild card that also helps to bust this myth, and that's nature itself. The best track to help understand this is the Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, where one half of the track can be drenched in rain while the other is dry. It's possible for drivers to blast up through a dry Eau Rouge, only to find themselves in a drenched part of the track. This points to one thing. No circuit is like any other in F1, and that's part of what makes the sport one of the most thrilling globally.